Hey there, so we can say one thing for sure, that thing is overdue. The magma chamber underneath the Swartsengi area, guys, and where their Blue Lagoon is located and the Swartsengi power plant is filling up again. And you know, Thorwaldson said yesterday that he thinks it's going to happen yesterday. So that tells you how overdue it is. And if you look at that chart, and that is from yesterday, that's when the Meteorological Office has released that one. They haven't released another update since then. So on that chart, the red line, you see where the square is. The square means that is an intrusion, not an eruption. And then you see how the land was subsiding a little bit, well, because there was a volume loss. So that indicates the volume loss. And then we see it goes right back up again, right? So by today, we have another day. We have about 500,000 cubic meters filling up in that magma chamber underneath Swartsengi per day. So they think today that it has reached the point of its maximum elasticity, of the maximum amount of magma that fits into that magma chamber underneath Swartsengi. So that's why they think we will see another magma intrusion or an eruption at any time. What's the difference between intrusion and eruption? Intrusion is what we've seen on November 10th, and just last Saturday, the magma's on the run, the magma's on the move from the magma chamber. It flows out of the magma chamber because the magma chamber is full, but it doesn't come to the surface, so it doesn't erupt, so that magma would come out and cause a lava flow. So it is actually, you know, we were thinking like, wow, why didn't it erupt? And that's weird, whatever. Actually, that is quite normal. So normally, you don't see that many eruptions as we have seen since November 10th. So now we've had 2 intrusions and 3 eruptions, and they absolutely cannot say what will happen in the next event. Another intrusion or eruption, it's up to Mother Nature. They can't really tell. So it has flown into the Hagafell area last time on Saturday, and it has stopped there. So they thought, well, maybe it has, you know, found like a clog or something that stopped it. Who knows? We don't. So we have to wait and see what happens in the next event. And it's absolutely overdue sort of thing, can happen at any time. They still think it's most likely in the area where it has erupted in December already, and where it has erupted in February in the Sutnuka crater series. But you know, it can always surprise us, as we learned when in January it was erupting at the doorsteps of Grindavik and burning down 3 homes. So it is an uncertainty that continues for everyone. And of course, it's the worst for the residents of Grindavik and the companies that want to do business in Grindavik. So that's why Kristin Johnsdottir, she's the head of the department at the Icelandic Meteorological Office. She says, you know, we're just waiting for it. And the problem is the weather right now. It's not good weather. It might impact the measuring systems, the seismic measuring instruments, so they can't really measure the smaller seismic swarms. The warning time might be 30 minutes and less already. So with that, it could be even less. And I think that's the danger that we're facing here. Right now, the seismic activity that they can measure at the magma tunnel has been at its lowest since the magma intrusion ended on Saturday. But, you know, we don't know, are the measuring instruments giving us the real data that we really about what's really going on. So the monitoring of volcanic systems in bad weather is not really great, but you know how it sometimes is. Through a coincidence, you discover something that really works and you're surprised because it wasn't intended for that kind of use. And that's what happened at the power station. So the company is called HS Orku, and they have installed like a temperature and pressure sensor at a depth of 850 meters, not to measure seismic activity. It's basically in the monitoring well, and they had absolutely no idea that these measurements one day could be useful basically 4 years later in predicting volcanic eruptions in the area. So the instruments, usually they just measure temperature and pressure every minute, and they were meant to observe how changes in processing and pumping would affect the pressure in the geothermal system, because there is a geothermal power plant, the Swartsengi power plant, that basically draws the heat out from the volcanic activity that is there, and then supplies hot water to all the clients and customers that are dependent on that power plant, and all the homes are heated with that hot water. So, but when they noticed, and basically that was since November 10th, when they noticed that large earthquakes also affect the pressure in that geothermal system, and that after an earthquake, the pressure really returned to the previous levels, they noticed that this is also an instrument that could help to determine what's going on. But the problem is, the small earthquakes, the super small earthquakes, they cannot be measured by the instruments that are placed on top. So I think they need to find out and learn more about this thing. So maybe it can help, but then they also have to be connected to the alert level warning system, because there's not much time. Sometimes between the earthquake swarms and an eruption or an intrusion or an event, there's not too much time. I mean, they're saying right now, maybe 30 minutes, maybe even less, because all the tunnel systems already there. The magma doesn't have to grind and dig new ones. So, but I thought it's interesting, and maybe over time they will find a better use of this. And guys, since we're in the middle of the video, could you do me a favor and give this video a thumb up, a like? And if you're new here, welcome. I would love for you to subscribe and stay up to date with everything that's going on with the volcanic eruptions in Iceland, with the supervolcano in Italy, with the Titan submersible tragedy, and with many other events. I just released a video that there was an arson attack that was targeted at the Tesla Gigafactory in Germany, in Berlin. Tree huggers versus Tesla. So check out that video. I'll put it in the end screen. And now back to the video, guys. And then I want to talk to you about another topic, and that is informing the tourists correctly and give them a feeling of safety. And my friend, the Blue Lagoon, in my opinion, isn't doing it right. If you go to their website, to the homepage, it doesn't give you any alert that there's something going on, that there have been various evacuations for hotel guests. There's just this gray banner that says all facilities are open now, read more. And if I look at a hotel, normally I don't click on that, because I'm like, this is just about the facilities being open, right? You wouldn't think that this is about a natural disaster, a magma chamber right underneath a volcanic eruption, emergency evacuations, emergency sirens, anything like that. So if you're a tourist from far away that just looks at some website, where can I go, what to do in Iceland, you find the Blue Lagoon and you want to book, if you click booking, you don't find anything, and I don't find that very good. I think they should be transparent, and they should be open, and they should really let the guests know. But one hotel always has to be evacuated when the Blue Lagoon is evacuated, because it's basically right there as well, and that's the Northern Light Inn Hotel. And I just thought, let's look at their website. It's a family-run hotel. Let's look at what they're saying. And you know what? I mean, they don't have a headline, we're under threat from volcanic lava flow and earthquakes, but on their front page, you see a banner about their hotel, like just the usual banner video that shows a few pictures of the hotel. But then you scroll down and there's a headline, and it says, we're open on March 6th. And then they say, we're happy to announce that we will be open the hotel again for our guests on March 6th. We will continue to closely follow the guidelines and recommendations of the authorities, working collaboratively with them to monitor the progression of events. And notice, March 6th. So that is, I believe, 2 days later than the Blue Lagoon. And they say, further they go on. So if you read this, you're like, wait a minute, what happened? Then you continue reading. The country is well prepared, featuring advanced preparedness protocols, and is equipped with highly experienced geoscientists who have extensive knowledge in managing volcanic activities. So you go like, Oh, volcanic activity. So it gives you some information. Experts at the Icelandic Meteorological Office continue to closely monitor the area. As before, the safety of our guests and staff is always our priority. Nice that you say that. Kudos. And then they're saying, we are looking forward to welcoming you at the Northern Inn. But then right underneath, there's some comments from the guests. So they are saying this is from our guests. And guests are saying, and if you read that, then you also get a feeling what might have happened. So guests are saying, we're greatly thankful for all the support and positive reviews, like the one below from, well, no, that's them saying, not the guests, like the one below from our guests that were with us during the evacuation on February 8th, along with countless emails we have received all over the world from former guests, sending us good thoughts and prayers. We can't thank you enough, and this is giving us immense strength to get through these challenging times. So they're mentioning the evacuation of February 8th, and they're mentioning volcanic activity. So thumbs up, Northern Light Inn. If I had to go to that area and had the urge that I need to stay there despite everything that is going to happen and that there's another event overdue, I would change them because they're really trying to be transparent and honest, and it's on the front page. So Northern Light Inn, great place in my opinion, family run, no big investors that put pressure on them like bring us revenue. I really love it. That hotel, of course, is for guests that do want to go into the Blue Lagoon as well. But you go there during daytime and you don't have to be in there during nighttime. And I trust them more with alerting people. And I know that at the last evacuation, we know from Walk With Me, Tim, that the sirens went off at the Blue Lagoon at about 6 o'clock and the volcanic eruption started at 6 o'clock. But there was another guy, a photographer from Canada, actually, Paul Tsitska. I don't know if I pronounced that right. He was in the other hotel and they were evacuated earlier. So when the earthquake swarm happened, basically, they were getting out already. So I don't know if that was them by themselves, but they also mentioned that the owner just knocked the doors and said, get out, get out, get out. So they were even earlier. I just think how they do it is the way to do, and I think the Blue Lagoon can learn from them. So I still hope that if the next event happens, that everyone will be safe, that everyone will be evacuated in time from both places, the Blue Lagoon and the Northern Lights Inn, before the last event. Officials said, we don't really want people in the area. That includes Grindavik, Swartsengi, and the Blue Lagoon. And now we're in the same situation again. Probably more magma has accumulated in the magma chamber, but everything's open. So what's your take on this? What do you think, guys? Let me know, as always, in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your supers. Thank you for your coffees, guys. It's greatly appreciated. And check out the videos in the end screen, guys. And I would love to see you very, very soon. So click the notification bell. Don't only rely on the notification bell. Many people tell me it sometimes doesn't work. And I experience it myself with other channels that I follow, that it doesn't work and that YouTube keeps unsubscribing me from the channel. And it's all over the world. It's not that these channels are specific channels that YouTube wants to not to censor or doesn't want to. No, it's like it seems to be a bug or something like that. So go to my start page, click reload, and then you'll see the latest videos. I'll release at least one per day. So be sure I'm always there every day for your breakfast, lunch, dinner, or just when you need some downtime. So thank you, guys. I'm out of here. Bye-bye.